What's up, everybody? Welcome to this special edition of the Loot Drop, where I am talking about my experience in gameplay for Final Fantasy Crisis Core. Now, first things first, I didn't like this game. And through the course of my daily gaming journal, I was very transparent on the fact that I just didn't feel like this was a very good game. I didn't like the mechanics of the game. I thought the storyline was okay at best. And then some of the decisions made throughout the game with the characters I thought was super questionable. And the crazy thing is, silly me for thinking that I could post my opinion online about a video game franchise that I truly actually really love and think that people wouldn't come at me in the comments. I had several people come at me talking about how I don't know anything about gaming, coming at me in my DMs telling me how ridiculously stupid my take was and how I need to get off the internet. All because I didn't agree with their opinions over this video game. And I know toxic fandom is out there. I get it. I don't want to shit on the things that you love. I love Final Fantasy. I love Final Fantasy VII. I love these characters. But from the get-go, when I've played Final Fantasy VII, I've never really cared for the Zack character. And so I was really hoping that this game would turn my opinion around. And I'll tell you what, it did do that. Is Zack one of my favorite characters of all time? Absolutely not. Do I think that, it makes up for some of the poor mechanics of the game, the choppy storyline, the really shitty dialogue at times? No, it doesn't. But I will say that I think through the course of this game, you get a better understanding about who he is, and you're not just forced to love him. Like, that's what I kind of felt like Final Fantasy VII did. It was like, Zack is a pivotal character. You have to like him. I don't have to like him. I didn't like him. But this game did kind of turn that around for me. So I will say, in regards to that, I think it was a win. But when I was playing this game, the parts of it that felt really good to me were the parts that were Final Fantasy. Like, it was when you met Aerith for the first time. It was when you finally meet Cloud for the first time. It was the whole entire scene in Nibelheim. All those things were tied into the Final Fantasy VII game. I think all those things really worked for me. And what I think it boiled down to was, I think this video game, it was nothing more than a DLC. And it really was, at its core, the storyline should have only taken about 4 or 5 hours to complete, but they had to fill it with all these shitty side quests, like running around trying to find your wallet that the stupid little kid stole, and on all these little things like building the wagon. I don't care about those things, and I understand that, like, they are important to some of these side characters, like Aerith, for example. But in the larger grand scheme of things for this game, you really didn't need them, because it didn't really build the relationship between you and Aerith. Like I could understand if you were going out getting these things for this wagon and you were with Aerith. I could totally understand why that would be important to the game, because that's building your bond and relationship. They didn't do that. And then it almost made me quit the game, was the Angeal fight. Because I thought that they did a pretty good job of setting up this dynamic between Angeal and Zack, where it was almost like big brother, little brother, or even father and son. And I feel like they stole what could have been a very emotional, impactful fight away from us by making Angeal this, like, crossbreed, creature. And I understand that, like, that was the route the game was going. So if you needed to be able to have that in the game, like, maybe you beat Angeal mid-fight and then he becomes this larger creature and you realize that, like, you have to kill Angeal in order to stop him. I think that would have played out a lot better than just all of a sudden, oh, here's this, like, winged, big dog creature that you've got to fight who used to be, like, your best friend. All that felt a little off to me, and especially because when you get towards the end of the game, you meet a clone of Angeal himself, and I just thought that was stupid. So between that and then the mechanics of the game, the fighting and everything like that, this game was clearly made to push out for the PSP and to try to make that handheld super important to PlayStation and to its fan base. And I think it came at a sacrifice of what ultimately could have been a really good story. All that aside, again, it made me really appreciate and like the Zack character more. But what it really did was, especially like the last 10 minutes of the game, it really tied everything in together. And I thought that it was a beautiful scene when the rain starts pouring down and you have Aerith in the church. The rain starts hitting her. She's looking up at the rain. And then the transition into the rain falling down on a dying Zack. That was a beautiful moment. And then handing over the Buster Sword. I could have done without the You're My Living Legacy stuff. But it made that in-battle scene very impactful. What almost took it away, though, was, again, the mechanics of the game and when you fight, when you're in combat. I just think that they should have let us truly fight out that battle. Like, honestly, you could have just stood there and just took a beating and it would have been over. Like, it was very, I don't know, anticlimactic for the actual fight itself. I wanted us to fight for Zack's life, and I don't think we got a chance to do that. But aside from that, the end scene was beautiful. After the credits, rolling right into Aerith in the street alley with the flowers, and then all of a sudden you hear the iconic theme opening up for Final Fantasy VII. You see Cloud on the train. Like, it really did a good job of helping bridge the gap there in some of the storyline that we only hinted at in Final Fantasy VII. But again, the game itself wasn't my favorite. So, what did you guys think? That's kind of my full review. Not a whole lot here to unpack because it's not a very long game. But I think that there was pros and cons. And at the end of the day, if you're a fan of Final Fantasy VII, I would say that this is worth playing. Even though I almost quit mid-game, I pushed through, went ahead and finished out the game. And I think after that Angeal fight, the game really picks up and it starts to find its stride. So it's definitely worth the gameplay. So I don't give ratings out yet to the game, so I don't really have a rating here for you other than a recommendation of go ahead and download it, go ahead and play it, and let me know what you think. Thanks, guys.